Uh, Lee Wen, are you ready to share your screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. I hand over to you.
Okay, so thank you, Fumia, for the invitation. Today I'm going to talk about embodied intelligence of by-inspired software robots. So I loved your figure you show on the first day of just define the concept of the embodied intelligence, where the interaction between controller, body dynamics, morphology, and task environment. So if we incorporate in biological features, for example, the morphological shape and materials or sensory and neural organs inside of the body dynamics or morphology of robots, we can build various bio-inspired, what we call biomimetic robots. So we can use these robots not only for promising applications, but also we can test in biological hypotheses by using these robots. So I think biorobotics are great examples of embodied intelligence, especially inspired from nature. In our lab, I think previously we have done several work relating to this topic. For example, biomimetic shark skin. We use multi-material 3D printer to build a biomimetic shark skin and make a shark skin while swim in the water. And we found that this can reduce the drag and also increase swimming speed. And also we understand better about the morphological feature of the shark skin. We also look into the fish fins, which is morphable. For example, this robotic fish with folding and erectable median fins here, which can be used for studying the dynamic behavior of the bony fish. And also we study a very special dorsal fin, which has been evolutionarily modified into disc pads of remora. So this disc pads can help the remora to hitchhiking on a wide variety of marine animals. We use a robot to understand the biomechanics of the sucker. So I think according to all these projects, one feeling is the morphological is really important, or we call morphological intelligence is very important for biorobotics. But even just the passive morphological features. But I think for embodied intelligence or morphological intelligence, material intelligence, and eventually embodied intelligence. So I want to introduce today about a software tentacle project, which covers all three aspects and has been done by a single student of mine. His PhD thesis is working on this project. So first, let's look at the morphological intelligence of the octopus tentacles. So Cecilia, she presented on the first day. She's have done some pioneer work in this area. I choose this template because it can employ their arms and suckers to catch prey of all shapes and sizes, which is pretty amazing. And I focus on two unique features of the octopus arm. One is its tapering shape. And the second one is bending and suction. If you look at the octopus in nature, I'm going to use my laser. For example, some octopus mimicus, which have a very long but slender arm, which is taper angle is about 4 degrees. Where you have look at Elodon, they have a short but brawny arms, which has a taper angle of 13 degrees. And we plot a statistic figure here to show 10 representative octopus species and plot its taper angle range. We found that between different octopus species, they are highly variable in the arm tapering, but they have a uniform feature as a bending and a suction. It exists in all the octopus species. So we decided to build a very simple software robotic model which have a tapering feature and also can be pressurized to bend and also deflation to produce suction by the suckers, which is quite simple. And first, let's look at the morphological effects of the taper angle. We found that its taper angle is inversely related to the bending curvature, while it's directly related to the force. So what does this mean? Intuitively, if we have built a prototype with 4.5 degrees, which is small taper angle, it can grasping a wide variety of items, which is usually have small size and lightweight. While if we build a 9 degrees or larger tapering angle, it can grasping objects with a larger size and also heavy with larger mass as well. For example, it can grasping a crab, and also on the right, if you see the taper angle at night, it can grasping like a heart-shaped box, and also yoga practice ball of 75 centimeters. So, and if we compare the tapering feature with a traditional form, which has a uniform cross section, we found that the tapering shape not only offers higher force, but also because of its flexibility, it results in larger adhesion time for the suckers. If you look at the red curve in the figure on the right, it can stick longer than the traditional form. So if we look at the effect of the bending and suction, we can see that it can grip, move, and place a piece of paper. And also they can retrieve objects from very narrow opening because they have the feature of tapering and bending and suction. Also because of the bending and the suction, this is something that our single hand cannot do, is gripping a practice ball, which is has a relatively larger size. So to sum up the morphological intelligence, I think these features, especially tapering and bending and suction, improved the grasping of the tentacle bots and also improve our understanding. But just with morphological feature for our project is not enough. If we want to grasping like a 3D printed piece with a rough surface of about 2 millimeters, that's not going to do it. So we need more materials intelligence. What we do is we add we change the sucker material into organohydrogel, which can be whose stiffness can be tuned by electrical currents. And then here's the results. We can see that when the voltage adds up and the stiffness goes down to by 1 order of magnitude, so that this robot can stick to very rough surface, including the 3D printed piece and also a toy basketball with a bumpy surface. Let's keep going on thinking. We had adding on morphological and also considering the materials, but we still were using our hands to do it. So it's not autonomous. So we need embodied intelligence to make this happen. So if we first look at nature as the neural structure of the octopus tentacle, so it has a neural roots connecting to both intrinsic muscles and also to the suckers, as reported by Sombry in 2001. So inspired from this, we adding the bending sensing circuits and also the suction sensing circuits, which can be tolerant to high strains to the tentacle robots. And if you look at the figure on the right here, we can see that when the tentacle bending have a lot of high strain area, that's traditional flexible electronics cannot do. So we need to build highly stretchable electronics with integrated circuits that can do communications, also data conditioning, and also wireless communication, etc. And especially its stretching rate can go up to like 130%, which is good for the robot. So if we look at this video, we can use our hands to disturb this robot, and it can feedback the data on the monitor. We also show that autonomous sensing of the suction of the suckers. If you look at the biological animal suckers, it can stick to a finger, which is very irregular surface. But if you look at the artificial suckers, it can do calculation computation by itself, so it can stick to rough surface, both at concave or convex spots. in an autonomous manner. I think that in the future, we can do detection, sensing, and operating in unknown environments by using this bio-inspired mechanical robots. So this video shows that it's working in environments without any visual feedback. And so once the socket detecting the objects, it triggers a bending, and then the tentacle will wrap around the object and bring it out. So the whole process is automated without any human interference. So with this, I would like to end up with the final slides that I think the challenges of embodied intelligence of bio-inspired robots have twofold. One is with electronics, I think there will be several challenges like how to the integrated design of software actuators, sensors, and circuits, especially highly stretchable electronics with silicon chips that can achieve a lot of functions. While if we look at electronics free, I want to show the Professor Mike Polly's work published weeks ago about this electronic free walker. So I think the challenges is mechanical logic and how to achieve reactive or interactive without sensory feedback. So and also I think is that possible to use embodied biomimetic software robots to test some hypothesis of software-bodied animals, considering its biomechanics and neuroscience aspects. So with this, I would like to thank my research lab at Beihai University, and thanks very much for your listening.
All right, thank you, Lee. I think this is a really wonderful demonstration of how biomimetics can actually help us understanding better about embodied intelligence.